Good evening and welcome to the stream. This is part 9 of the ongoing series to complete Might and Magic 2. In the last part we finished mapping the town of Atlantium and took a gander at the cavern beneath it and discovered we were perhaps not leveled quite high enough to move onwards with that, so we moved on to Castle Woodhaven, which we completed in last night's session. And the plan for tonight is to go to the cavern or the dungeon beneath Castle Woodhaven and explore that. There might be multiple levels to the dungeon. We will see if we find further stairs somewhere on the first floor. And I suspect we will have plenty of encounters down there, and perhaps we are not leveled high enough to attempt the dungeon, but things went okay in the castle last night, so we will at least try. So, without further ado, let's jump into the game itself. When we left the game last night, we had leveled about over half of the characters up to level 10. The single skill characters such as the knight, the robber and the cleric are all level 10 now, as well as the two hirelings, Drog the barbarian and Sir Hiram the knight. The characters that are not yet at level 9 are the dual skilled characters, the sorcerer, as well as the paladin and the archer, which require significantly more experience points to level up than the single skill characters, and they are about 60,000 experience points away from being able to level up. So that's not a lot. We should be able to finish that in this sitting, and we will then have all of the characters up to level 10. And I went into the tavern and bought some additional food. There is some time until we will be able to travel back into town, so it's good to be stocked up on food, so we are able to rest after battle. The first battle obviously is to complete the castle guards. We still do not have a castle key, so we still need to fight the guards to gain entrance to the castle. But we've done plenty of these battles before, and they are not all that difficult when there are only 5 of them to fight. So, about the last thing that we mapped last night was the entrance to the dungeon and the saving of the Green Bishop, which gained us some valuable experience. And as before, there's a joke of the day: why do orc women wear high-heeled shoes? To keep their knuckles from dragging on the ground. A joke for every occasion by the juggler in the castle. And here are the stairs to the dungeon beneath the castle, and we start mapping at X0, Y15, and we will move 1 square at a time and look both to the left and right for potential hidden messages on the walls. There's a sign on the door that says no elves. We only have we have 2 elves in the party, the sorcerer and the robber. We will examine the dungeon, and I have a feeling that we might have to go back and leave these 2 characters behind, but we will see. It's particularly difficult to be without the robber. Depending on the monsters that we're facing here, we could do okay without the sorcerer. So here are some stairs leading down, and that answers the question as to whether there is a second floor to this dungeon. There obviously is. So at X13, Y13, stairs to the second level. So you know that for sure. And undoubtedly there is a way to get to the next level below that. This door is locked, so we will use the rubber to unlock it. How many of these winged steads are there? Not that many, mostly weird bats. Let's see. When we find the areas where we are not allowed to have the elves, we will simply mark them on the map. I'll jot them down into my document, and we will then visit the castle dungeon again without these characters, and visit those specific squares that we are not allowed to access with our elves present. This battle is an indication of the fights that we will have. Those are not too difficult for us. Hey Chiz, welcome to the stream. We are playing Might and Magic 2, the Mac version. This is part 9 of this playthrough. It's an old school RPG with plenty of grinding action. Thanks for the follow, Chris. Or Chiz, I should say, sorry. Sorry, Chiz, I should know better. I've been in your channel enough. So the game is up to its old tricks here. There are darts flying out of the wall, which cause damage. And the door is locked from the inside. But other than that, this was fairly tame so far. And as before, I will check every wall, both the left and right side, for hidden messages, even though it costs us having to rest 2 times due to these darts. Or probably 3 actually. Yeah, this is this game when it came out would have been played on a Big Mac, not the burger but the machine. This is a fairly difficult battle. These are Gorgons, and they turn you to stone. And they got to go first, so I managed to turn 2 of our party members to stone before we even got a chance to attack them. We'll see how we progress here. We don't have access to the Stone to Flesh. Hey Gleaser, welcome to the stream. Don't have access to the Stone to Flesh spell yet. That arrives on spell level 6, which we are a good 1 level away from being able to get yet. So it is entirely possible that we will need to attempt this again when we are a level higher than we are right now. We'll see. We have some resistance to this, but they are still plowing us down here, and they have a fair number of hit points, so if you can't heal as you go along, it's difficult. I think we're almost certainly dead here, but we will see. It's surprising that it's only these 3 characters that have been turned to stone. The rest still remain. However, they are also beating us down using other methods. So it's basically down to a quick fight. And we didn't survive. We were pretty close though. So I think it's fairly certain that we are not level high enough to attempt this yet. Yeah, there are actually 6 characters in the party, and then you can have up to 2 hirelings. So the 6 characters in the party are Sir Lancelot the Knight, Sir Roland the Paladin, William Tell the Archer, Pink Panther, a Robber, Friar Tuck the Cleric, and Magic the Spell the Sorcerer, and then we are paying Drog and Sir Hiren to come along, and there are more hirelings that become available later in the game, so you can bring them along and have them fight with the party, and you have to pay them a certain amount of gold per day, and you can level them up right like the rest of the party and equip them as you want while you are paying them. Yeah, the mage is dead. And we got unlucky there. Forgot the joke of the day. Why do orc women wear high-heeled shoes? To keep their knuckles from dragging on the ground. This is the same joke we got earlier. I want to cast a light here. I want to just map the levels that we had already gone into here before going back and healing the mage. What I will do now is I will go to Atlantium. I will get the hireling cleric to go with us, and we will attempt to rescue Corak's body from Corak's cave here in C2. See if we're able to do that. We will have to let the game decide when we are level high enough to do something. Here we go. Restored. We'll have to use the town teleport system to travel to town number 5. We'll have to remember where all of these teleports are in all of these towns. We've done quite a bit of this traveling already, so we are getting pretty good at doing so. And now we are in Atlantium, which is the 5th and final town in the game. Let's see, this is the inn. There are 2 characters here, Big Bootay and Cleo Gotcha. I'll take a look at them. This is the cleric. It's a level 5 cleric. And this is an archer. So I will have to leave someone here. I will remove Drog and I will add the cleric and leave the inn. Let's see. Spell level 3. Cost per day 35. Obviously has no armor and very little to defend himself with. So we will have to buy him at least some basic gear so he can actually come with us and do some damage. Let's see, we'll visit the ironworks here and we'll switch to the cleric and see what we can buy here. Splint mail is probably the best we can do. We can buy a splint mail +1 and a helm +4 and a great shield +1. That will at least be significantly better than what he's actually wearing right now, which is basically nothing. See, he will go from 0 to 8, 14, 18, okay, that's decent. And we need some weapons. Again, I will switch to the Corak. We have a flail +3, we can buy one of these. That's at least a weapon. And in addition to that, I'm going to allow the new Hireling cleric to borrow the hero medal from the paladin, and that will increase his personality, which will in turn increase his spell points. He currently has 35, but after resting he will have 40, so we'll have hiked up by some 5, which is decent enough. And he's already a linguist, so that's positive. So now we should be able to go to Corak's cave with 2 clerics and a robber, and we will see how we do in these battles with just these 2 characters. It's certainly not for certain that we will survive any of them, we'll have to see. But I'm going to go to Middlegate and leave the rest of the crew here. So I will leave everyone but Pink Panther, Fry Attack and Big Bootay. So the party is now only clerics and robbers. we will venture again to Corak's cave, which is just near Middlegate. How is he doing for spells? He has access to all the level 1, 2 and 3 spells. That's good. We also need... I will have to go back to the inn and add them to the roster. I basically just left them at the hotel. And that is basically the only way to save the game as well. You have to sign into the inn, so if you want to save, you have to go back to the inn. What we also need is that I had forgotten. You can restore the dead ones at the temple, and you can restore any condition at the temple. So even if not everyone is dead, then you are able to crawl your way out of it. But obviously, if everyone is unconscious, paralyzed, or dead, then you will have to revert to the last save. Let's see. What we need to do is we need to go before we go in here. I had forgotten about this. We need to go back and into the caverns beneath Middlegate and get ourselves a pass to be able to get into the room. We're not allowed in the room without a pass. See, where are we now? Cavern is here. Oh, it was in Sunsobar Cavern at okay. This is not the correct cavern. It's in the Sunsobar Cavern that we need to find this. See if I can remember how to get into the cavern. It was through this here. A slightly more difficult battle when we only have 3 members of the crew, but still. Stairs to the cavern. The admit pass was at was it 1414 according to my notes. So we need to find our way there. Let's see. We are at 12-7. Turn on the lights here. Oh, the ankle traps. Annoying enough. What's the best way to get to 1414? It's through this door here. And upwards here. Taking this is an encounter that we need to finish. we should probably focus on doing is using the deadly swarm spell here, doing most of our damage that way. Not too long ago, these battles were difficult enough for us with a full party, and we were mostly able to get through them with a minimum set. Let's see. It's through here, up here, through this door here. We need to get rid of these killer cobras here. We need to cast the this might be a fairly difficult battle, we'll see. Definitely need a deadly swarm spell. If this proves to be too difficult, then it's likely that we'll have to fetch the rest of the crew to go get this pass. We'll see how things process. Maybe we won't get lucky. Things are starting to look pretty bleak here. Yeah. Okay, what we'll do now is add everybody else to the list and go fetch this pass. That should only take us a little while with a full casting crew. And then we'll go back, remove the characters again, and try the cavern again. One of the advantages of having a full crew is that we will have the sorcerer with us and we can use the teleport spell, which will save us having to find our way through the cave. We'll simply go up here. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares upwards. And go here. Let's see, this is 1414. This is not the correct location. Let's see. It's unfortunate. So it's not in this particular location. Let's see. Let's see where I wrote down the location of the other one. I wonder where the pass is. It's somewhere in this dungeon. It's just a question of where. These killer cobras are actually very difficult, even with a full cast. Still very difficult. Let's see. I wonder. Yeah, probably the most likely coordinate is 0, 0, not 14, 14. I must have gotten the coordinates for these two mixed up. So we'll fight through this again. Great. The problem with these battles at this point should be very easy, but the game is not fully random in this sense, and it will make the battle slightly difficult since we've leveled up. I will go down here 6 squares, and that will put us at the bottom, and now we need to go some 11 squares forward. Probably can only go 10, or perhaps only 8. Yeah. Foul-smelling zombie hands you not midday's pass and says this will help you in Corak's Cavern, and yes, it will. So I will trade this item with the cleric, since we're gonna bring him along. Then I will simply run back after killing off these bats here. How many do we need to go up again? I think it was 7. I'll go up 7 squares. That should put us at the entrance. We'll go back up. I have to be facing this way here. Go back to middle gate. We're going to have to heal the paladin. Other than that, I think we're actually good. Let's go back here. And again, we will leave the other characters. And this is the party as it looks. Double check that we have the Ultimate 8 pass, and we do this time around. So we have a save we can revert to with the pass in our hands. Yeah, the playing field is fairly small, but the resolution is also bigger. The resolution on the Mac at this time was 512 by 332, so the resolution of the game on mostly any other system at this point were 320 by 200, so the graphical window is about the same size. But then they've added this graphical user interface, and I'm mostly playing using the keyboard, but you can also use the interface if you wish. One of the funnier things is that there's also a black and white version of this same game, and this version that we're playing is identical to that version, except the graphics are in color. And back in the day, I actually played this exact game on my father's Mac. So this is the box from the original Mac version of the game that I played as a kid. So I knew the game on the Mac. And I'm not using exactly that version now because finding something that can read an 800K Mac floppy at this point is getting very difficult. So I downloaded this particular version, which is contains both the first and the second game, and the second game both in color and black and white. Here we will have to rely pretty heavily on our magic because we are fairly weak. Yeah, it does. The graphics look better. They have more color, and they are in 256 colors. And, of course, the resolution is higher, so the graphics do look better. Other than the later point console versions, this is probably the best looking version of this game. We will try this again. It's entirely possible that we won't be able to finish this fight. We're simply not level high enough to be able to beat these monsters without a full party. We'll see. We'll make at least 2 attempts. It's attempting to try to rescue Corak's soul here, because the prize is a spell known as Lloyd's Beacon, which is enormously useful in being able to return to a location once you've been there. No, there are not that many soft locks in this particular game. You can usually always get yourself out of pretty much every situation. There's the occasional problem that you might have with there are certain monsters that age the character or move time, and that certainly represents a pretty big problem, but generally there is not a lot of soft locking, thankfully. And however, I think we're just not ready to have these battles yet, so we will have to return to them at a later stage. So what is tempting now then, since we are not able to move ahead with this, is to move ahead with mapping the outside world and continuing with square C3. We've already done all of this square and the square above, and see what else we find. Another thing that we might attempt is whether we are able to access the area here in the middle, which we weren't able to do a few levels ago. No, they're still not able to do that. Okay, so we will move downwards. There is also another castle here, Castle Hillstone, which we might attempt. So one of the weirder things about mapping in this game is that you have to enter pretty much any location on the map from 2 directions at least. So when you're mapping these squares that you haven't been to before, not everything will necessarily spawn if you're coming from one direction, but it might spawn if you're coming from another one. Here is an encounter with some of these cavaliers. This is an okay battle. See how we go. We will miss Drog the Barbarian, which I left behind as a hireling slightly. He was a pretty good fighter, but he was also becoming very expensive. So here is a cavern of some sort in C3. I'm gonna write down the location. I'm gonna finish mapping this square and then take a look here. A cold draft emerges from the opening of a web-strewn shaft. Go down. Not just now, we are in X15Y0. Okay. And then I will, after mapping from the south, we will map from the north as well. Run upwards. And I will take the next squares. Yeah, being able to take characters along is certainly helpful. Sometimes there are quests which require a certain combination of classes or alignments, and then it's very useful to have access to more characters, and that is precisely how the game wants you to handle the hirelings. They want you to use the hirelings. And there are a fair number of hirelings in the game, at least in game number 1, which I have completed. There are at least 10 of them, so you can find them all over the map. And having another cleric on the party can be useful. We are not too worried about the barbarian. If we need his help at a later stage, we can always go back to Atlantium and pick him up for the same price. And we've already leveled him up to level 10, so he's a decent fighter at this stage. This is the most difficult of the battles that we've faced against these patrols so far. See how we do here. We at least need to pay a little bit of attention to what we're doing. Only 2 of them remaining here. Quick fight the rest. Okay. Done with 3 of them. Attempting to go back at this stage and save our progress in case we end up in an encounter which we can't win, and use the opportunity to sell some of the items that we found. Let's see. What did we have here? We had a spiked club +5, broadsword, some plate armor +2, short bow, short sword. One of the advantages of getting rid of Drog is that he's now no longer character number 2 in the party, so the first 2 characters are now our own player characters and can therefore use the shop, so we don't have to trade items to be able to sell them. And these battles continue here, always on these squares. When I was starting out, I simply used the characters provided by the game. They were a pretty decent mix of classes and also a pretty decent mix of different alignments. And they had pretty strong characteristics for the strengths of each class. And I tried quite a bit of rolling of the dice to create my own. I wasn't able to get even close to the characters that came with the game, so I decided to just use them with different names. Now here it says a passage leads behind the falls. This is X11 Y15. We don't know what that does yet. Okay. This moves us into an entirely different plane of existence. We are now in the elemental plane of air, so this is a shortcut. We have no earthly business being here at this point, so we will simply walk around and until we end up in a battle, which is inevitable. It almost seems likely that if we end up in a battle here, we are pretty much certain to be killed, but let's see. We are now at a level in the game where we are level high enough to attempt all sorts of things, but perhaps not level high enough to complete many of them. So it's a question of finding some dungeons where we can earn some additional experience. We walked through most of the elemental plane of air now without finding much of anything. Yeah, Heroes of Might and Magic are pretty great games as well. I played this game first, and then I played game number 3 on the Amiga, and some years back I played, they were on sale on Good Old Games, and I bought the collection of the first games, and then I played game number 1 and finished that on the DOS-box. I spent a decent amount of time playing these games, and now we mapped every square, and the question is, how is it that we get back? I'm not sure that we can at this stage. The surface command doesn't work, so I think it's safe to say that we're simply stuck here. We'll quit the game and resume from the last save. which was moments ago, and this is why we save. So we at least know what that particular point does. The only thing that we haven't completed is this battle here with the squires, and not too worried about that. Yeah, I figured I would just stream this experience. It's more fun to play most of these games while talking to other people. It's like real Dungeons and Dragons. It's more fun to do with friends. No one really sits down to play Dungeons and Dragons alone. We've ended up in a battle with these barbarians here. They are quite difficult. But let's see how we do. It would help immensely if you could at least bring one of them down. One of the advantages of having now having two clerics in the party is that we have two members of the party that we can pretty much dedicate to healing. So during these more difficult battles, that helps considerably. We've taken down one of them, two remain, and they seem to take a lot of beating. Only one left. I think we'll be able to finish that. We get some 6,000 experience points. That's definitely worth it. And a decent amount of gold. No, we won't take this passage. Let's see, we're gonna need the walk on water spell to be able to map the water squares. Let's see, how many of the castle guards are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 3 zombies and there are 11 castle guards. Okay, so this is a difficult battle, but perhaps not impossible. We'll see. Let's see how it goes when we have 2 healers. The cleric, which was at level 5 when we hired him, will probably level up quickly enough because he's having these difficult battles with a far more capable crew, so chances are he will level up fairly quickly. Those are a lot of guards, and this is a difficult fight. Okay, we'll need to give him some more gems so he can continue casting these spells. We lost the sorcerer and the second cleric. And we still have quite a few of the castle guards left. This is becoming a very difficult battle. We've been somewhat unlucky. There are 5 of them left now. It's attempting to continue, try to finish the battle. It gets easier the more of them we manage to take down. Okay, we are slowly running out of hit points or spell points here. Not unsurprisingly, this battle has lasted for a fair amount, 6,266. But without 2 characters, so we will finish mapping these squares here and then return. These squares are difficult here. Perhaps tempting to just run away. Let's see. There are 4 of them left, and we have 3 members that are unconscious at this point. And only 1 remains. Now is the time to run away. I won't lose all of this process that we made. We will simply heal these characters. We have plenty of money. We've gained a significant amount of money in the castles, so spending some money to restore the condition is not really the worst thing in the world. Sell some of these items that we found here. And see what the status is for leveling up. 48,000, 41,000, 45,000. We've already leveled the cleric up a single level, and he only needs some 23,000 to make it to level 7. So, as I knew, we would level him up pretty quickly. So let's see, let's continue where we left off here. Here are the mountain patrols again. These are the most difficult of these horse riding knights. There are many of them, all of them essentially the same monster, but this one has the highest armor class and the highest number of hit points. So he's the most dangerous one of them. Found on plate mail +3. A very useful item, actually. How much do we lose? We go from 17 to 4, 15. Yeah. This the S prefix armors, they give us additional protection from energy spells. So they are potentially helpful. This is probably might be the final battle here with all of these knights. In addition to the mounted patrols, we also have these champions here, which are also very difficult. Let's see how we do. There's a pretty decent number of them here. We will use the power cure spells to try to keep alive. Hoping that we will be able to sustain ourselves long enough to get them down into a more reasonable number of enemies. We don't have enough gems again, and there are 5 of them left here, and we have 4 members already unconscious. This does not have success written all over it. Now we have a single member left, and 2 of them, and we didn't make it. I don't think this battle is impossible. We will attempt it at least one more time. So in the roll of the dice, we might just have to be a little bit luckier. So we will attempt this one again. And this one isn't difficult with a full crew. And, this one is. Let's see. We'll start curing right away. It helps a little bit that the sorcerer didn't go immediately down this time around, so we were able to do at least 2 rounds with the sorcerer casting spells. That helps quite a bit. And now 3 rounds with the sorcerer. Although the champion appears to be the most difficult of all of them. More difficult than the mounted patrol. I'm almost tempted to cast the identify monster spell, but that would mean wasting a turn with the sorcerer, which at this point is perhaps not wise. Although, let's see. Hit points 80, armor class of 20. Yes, okay, this is the most powerful of the horsemen I've seen so far, and he's also resistant to magic. So he is a true champion. However, there are only 3 of them, and there are 8 of us. So we will plow him down. No, this game is not D&D compatible. It has its own subset of things. The highest number that a skill can be in this game is 21, not 18. You can magically raise almost all of them to 99, although you would have to find some pretty amazing items to be able to do that. I don't think these items actually exist in the game, but you could, with some character editing, move all of the abilities up to 99. It's not fully D&D compliant, but most of the changes that have been made are good. Quiet. Okay, additional resistance to the sleep spell. That's not really useful. We'll save here and go back to the training grounds. He's 18,000 away from the next level. Slowly getting there. Walk on water. Let's see. On the other side of the water now. Again, we have this encounter with the barbarians. We'll use a power cure again. They were not able to do any major damage on the first attempt. They're somewhat immune to magic, but not fully. So by using the healing spells, threading carefully, we can move ahead. Should be able to do so. Still haven't managed to kill a single one of them yet. But now one's gone, and now 2, so things are looking up. 6,000 points, so that's a significant amount. And another of these night fights here, this time with a group of some squires. Not nearly as difficult as the other one was, although it is possible that we're heading for a more difficult one in the next square. No, that is not the case now. We will try to take 3 squares at a time. So we make slow progress and then go back and save. 10 of these champions here. This is a difficult battle. Let's see how we do. We might have to run away. I'm fairly sure that that might be our best option here. I don't think we're going to win with that character member. We might potentially have beaten them the other way around, but as for now, we'll go back and restore our condition and then return. Sell stuff. Restore our condition. Check the training grounds. We now need 11,000. It's tempting to go try that battle again, see how it turns out. It's perhaps not likely that we win, but it's fun to try. Exactly the same battle again, same 10 champions. He's immune to this magic, so it's good to know that he is. I'm going to cast a bless spell here to make it slightly more likely that we are actually able to land a blow on the enemy. Although I doubt it will help very much. The lightning bolt spell does not work, and we have not learned the Finger of Death spell yet. I will try the Soundstone spell, that does work. So perhaps we will try to use that. Other than that, we will attempt to heal as much as we can. Yeah, this is a problem that he doesn't have enough gems. We need to remember to share the gems before going into battle next time around. This is pretty much impossible. There are simply too many of them. Yeah. So I doubt we will be able to finish this battle at this current level. We'll try it again at a later stage. For now, I'm going to simply jump over the square so we can map the square behind it. And no, it's just that one square, okay. We'll jump over it so we can map the square behind it. Which, in case that didn't work, I will let's see, let's use the jump spell here. Let's use the teleport spell then. Go 2 squares forward. And then use it again to go 3 squares forward again. We mapped every square here despite not finishing this particular battle. And we will continue onwards, downwards. Another fight with the barbarians, which we already know will give us some 6,000 experience points if we manage to get out of it alive. Just again dependent on us using the curing spells a lot. Good for now. I will use this turn to cast a blast spell. Already managed to take one of them down, which is a good sign. Yeah, this is a difficult grinding game often enough, and you have these instances like here where the game is being particularly nasty to you. You are trying to rest to recover from the encounter and you get attacked by some puny enemy. You're in such a state that you aren't able to finish them, so you have to go back and reload. There's a lot of dying involved in this game. Yeah, it isn't necessarily not only in broad daylight but on the outside world, just running around. Yeah, every now and then when you rest, you get hit by someone. By some monsters to make the game slightly more difficult. Now let's actually remember to share the gems here, so we don't constantly run out of gems. It's fairly important to be able to use the power cure spell, even though it costs us a gem. We will attempt the battle with the barbarians again. Now able to use the power cure from both of the clerics. Helps quite a bit. See. We've at least eliminated one of them. It's better than nothing. Now 2 are gone, 1 remains. And we win. We are victorious, and we don't get attacked while sleeping this time around. Let's see what waits us here. Some mounted patrols. We've done this fight multiple times already. We know pretty much exactly how it will go. It's not all that difficult. But we will heal a little bit here before moving on. And then just use the quick fight option to fight them off. Being very unlucky with the traps from the treasure right now. Now we actually found a pretty good item, which is the looter's knife +5. Highly valuable item. go to the robber here. Let's see, I'm gonna store this with the cleric down here. A flash sword will have certain advantages, but we are unlucky enough that the looter's knife does not have the correct alignment, so we can't use it. Which is unfortunate because it raises our thievery percentage. So it was potentially a very useful item. Alas, not today. Let's see. Take our chances with one more battle here. The Iron Wizard being here at the top. Difficult and annoying little shit. Which is mostly immune to melee attacks. So we will have to fight him with magic. So I spent my healing points. Healing the sorcerer so she can keep casting spells. It's important to leave a decent amount of hit points on every character because he casts these lightning bolts which do a number of damage points to pretty much every member of the party, and now that we've been able to get rid of him, we can work on these cursed corpses here. They are not nearly as difficult, but we've been leveled down and are unable at this point to cast magic as the primary cleric. However, we were able to use the Turn Undead spell on quite a few of them. Let's rest, and we will remove the cursed condition here. He's not able to cast a spell while cursed, and we can't cast it from here, so we will need to go back to town to remove the cursed condition. Let's see. I want to finish mapping this final few squares here before going back. I have a feeling that we might be able to level up now at this point. We've done quite a few fights. Another battle. My wife stepped in here. Needed to talk to her. Let's see. We're not able to do anything with the cleric at the moment because he's cursed. But we can heal with the secondary cleric. I think we can safely just quick fire ourselves through the rest here. A decent amount of treasure again. This little bush down here seems to be where the knights like to stay. At least there are a great number of them in that particular area of the map. So we'll go to the top square and walk ourselves back to town. Sell some of the stuff that we found, as we always do. Obviously the looter's knife is are we cursed? Yes, we are. The shopkeeper won't allow us to shop while we're cursed, so we have to restore that before moving on. So now we can sell we'll see about leveling up now. We're getting very close with the paladin and the archer, as well as the sorcerer, and we can level up to level 7 on the cleric now. That is a big help because it brings us the level 4 spells such as Cure Disease. And the Holy bonus, which is also a useful combat spell, which we don't use very often because we tend to try to use the healing spell with the clerics, but now that we have 2 of them, it's potentially very useful. Let's see, where were we? Quite a few druids. They are not dangerous in and of themselves. They are all they are basically capable of doing is casting this silence spell, which just means that we're not able to cast spells, but since they don't actually cause any other damage, they are very easy to take down. It's only when they are joined by other monsters that they pose a threat. Being silenced in a battle with difficult melee monsters is a recipe for not being able to use any of your spellcasters during battle, which is always difficult. Let's see, we need to be able to walk on water. There are 10 of these champions here. This is another one of these near impossible battles. But let's see. It's very tempting to just try to run away here. See what happens. We'll leave some characters dead. Yeah. And return to town. One of which is a hireling, which we can restore for free. We need to walk back in the other direction here. I already took this direction. go in the other direction as well. See if we missed any spawn points. Again, we'll have this fight with the druids here. Did anyone pay attention to what happened to the robber? Why is he dead? Did I simply forget to heal him earlier? I might have. It's very likely that I simply forgot to heal him. That's okay, we will go back and do so right now. Tough to be out there without the robber. We need him to open the chests without causing massive damage every time. So he's restored to full health. Let's continue. Wow. This particular square that we marked earlier seems to just throw us in an absolutely random location somewhere. We've found ourselves in D1, whereas earlier when we accidentally took this, we ended up in the elemental plane of air. I think it's safe to say that we're not ready to explore the outside areas of D1 yet, based on that fight that we found there. No. Let's see. Let's fight with the druids again. He's very determined to silence us. And he succeeds in doing so, but gets plowed down anyway. Let's see. Etched onto a huge stone is a D. Etched onto a huge stone is an I. Let's assume that the D and an I belong to the word Druid, since they've been around these squares for a bit. And more druids. And some more druids. We seem to be pretty much in druid headquarters here. And all around us. That's okay. Another of these barbarian attacks here. What was particularly unsmart of us now is that we did not rest before going into this battle, which means that we are still silenced. Potential death sentence for us. Particularly dumb of me to not rest. I will have to go back and restore our condition and return and try our hand with the barbarians again. Rest first and then heal. Unnecessary healing this time around. Certainly did not need to do that. I will use the teleport spell to bring us 8 squares forward. And we'll take one of the fights with the Druids. They are not really all that useful to us. They leave behind a little bit of gold and a few gems, but the amount of experience is fairly low. So it's okay to go through them once to map the square, but not really much to be gained by going through them multiple times. And another one. We need to remember to rest after it to restore our silence condition, as we're heading into the fight with the barbarians inside the mountains there. Here it is. And, now we're not incapacitated anymore, so it should make the battle significantly easier. We'll use the curing spells to help us get out of this alive. One down, 2 to go. Two down, only 1 to go. And a decent 6,000 experience points. That's like 10 battles with the Druids. Certainly worth it. And let's see. I need the walk on water spell again. Do 2 more squares before going back. Here we'll write down this location here. An old Druid pays you no heed as he munches enthusiastically on red hot wolf nipple chips. Okay. I think we can safely assume this is a magical location that we will need to return to at some point in the game, but for now, more Druids, more etchings, this time an S. So gathered around in a circle are these stones which spell out Druids. We are not silenced, but we are slightly damaged from the chest, so we will rest anyway. Some more Druids. Okay. eerie shadows dance off the 6 megalithic stones that stand ominously in a semicircle. From a bloodstained sacrificial altar, a voice booms, "Password." So I'm going to guess that the password is Druid, and it said wrong, look to the stones. So we'll make a note that in X1Y6 is the entrance to the Druid's cave, and that's the second dungeon that we've found so far in this map. The previous one was in X15Y0. So we'll have to decide in which order we take this after we finished mapping the remaining square. This is just the single one remaining now. We will finish mapping that up and then return to town. Here is a message for us. Strange pagan symbols and runes carved on the trees of the oak grove are deciphered by your linguist. The message reads, "The Pegasus is called Menu." The Pegasus is called Menu or Menu. That is probably the answer to a riddle somewhere in the game. So as is usual, I will write down this message in my document here so we can refer to it at a later point. It's absolutely essential to visit every area on the map for all of these clues. We will rest now after fighting the Druid, and, which is good because we ended up in a battle with these blessed barbarians here again. And, this time around they took out the sorcerer first. We will fight them again and hopefully win again for an additional 6,000 experience points and a decent amount of gold. If we manage to bring down another one of them, I like our chances. And yeah, we are able to do so. So only one remains, and I was able to resurrect the second cleric, which means that we have 2 healers now. So we can cure the knight and the paladin in the front, bringing us up to pretty much full power. And indeed we survive. A decent amount of gold again. So now we've finished mapping this. We will head back to town. Sell some of our loot. Plenty of it here. Mostly the same items, some thief picks and some crossbows. And we will stock up on food. We're running very low on food. Bring us up to 40 and see what the status is with the training. We need 6,000. William tell the archer is ready for level 10. Magic of the spell needs 3,600. What is very tempting right now is to go directly back to C3 and have one of these barbarian battles here. Beat down some barbarians for the 6,000 experience points that we get, and then return and train. I think we're definitely in. Yeah, this is one of them. So if we win this battle, then we basically need only maybe a few points more, and we can easily get them by having a simple bow inside middle gate. Only a few short, and it's fairly easy to finish that off. Then we can finish leveling the characters up to level 10, except for the Hireling cleric, which is already though been leveled up 2 levels already. And before we attempt the first cave that we found in C3, we'll try them in the order that we found them, and hope that we are level high enough to take on at least one of them. We didn't survive. We were very close, but we didn't survive. So we'll try again. Let's see. We forgot to save. What a stupid move. That's okay. We'll do this again. This is indeed how we die in this game, again and again and again and again. Okay. Some more of these Druid battles here. And yet another one. And then a battle with the barbarians that killed us last time around. And then remapping these 2 squares. And then going back to town. So, in a day's work. Another barbarian battle. Let's see if this one goes a little bit better. We got maybe a little bit cocky here and decided to just go into the quick fight instead of taking every action slowly, as we probably should have. I will cast the holy bonus now, see if that helps us bring them down a little bit. So far this battle has gone well for us. As I've said multiple times on these streams already, every time you get at least a little bit cocky in this game, you end up dead. And it happens every time, and I keep forgetting it. The game will punish you every time you think you are getting good enough to not have to worry about perishing at any moment. It's simply what it does. We need to fight this battle. Run back the same way and finish mapping the last 2 squares. Again, some more druids. We already know the password, but we don't want to enter into the Druid's cave just yet. And just this last square remains here. And one more battle with the Druids. And on the way back, I think we will pay a visit to some more barbarians before heading back to town to level up. Since we already know we need to complete at least one more barbarian battle, this one and one more, before we can level up. Now we lost the robber. He got killed. Which means that we need to return to town to heal him before moving forward, because we are never going to be able to finish a battle with these barbarian Valkyries without having a full crew. But it's fighting these battles which are on the verge of being too difficult, which tend to help the most in leveling up. So even if these battles are difficult, you need to have them to have a realistic chance of moving up the levels, which is the only way to realistically move on in the game. So again, we will travel back to town. And sell our loot. And we found a ray gun, which is a useful item. We also found a halberd +6, another useful item. Let's see if we can actually equip it. Perhaps we can remove the Naginata and equip the halberd. Yes, we can. We can also equip the ray gun. The ray gun increases your accuracy, bringing his accuracy up to 21, which of course increases the chances of being able to hit an enemy during a battle. The Paladin already has a ray gun, so however not quite as an advanced ray gun as this one was. It was actually a ray gun +2, and a good find nonetheless. And we will head down for another battle with the Valkyries. Let's see, I think it's straight down here and then one square and down. Let's hope we are more successful in this one than the last one. At least we saved this time around. The thief is dead again. Let's see how we do here. One of them remains. Our chances, I like our chances right now. Yeah. We will open the chest anyway, even if we don't have a rubber. And recover the gold. And then we will head back to town. See what the status is for leveling up right now. So Roland is ready, and William Tell is ready, and Magic at the Spell is ready. So now all of our characters, except for the newly hired Hireling Cleric, are ready and at level 10, which will help us. Now let's explore this cavern at the bottom of C3 here. Or pretty much near the bottom here. We have to either have this battle with the Cavaliers or potentially use the teleport spell, but these Cavaliers are by no means impossible and they give us valuable experience, so might as well just have a go at them. Vigio Cloak +4. I wonder what that does. It has no properties other than being able to cast spell 3/3, which isn't immediately useful to us. We will go down this shaft here and we end up in a dungeon with no name. And The top says Forbidden Forest Cavern. Okay. I will write that down. This is the Forbidden Forest Cavern. Let's see what kind of monsters are down here. Whether this is something that we can attempt or not. Army barracks. So I'll assume these are mostly similar battles as we've been having in the game, in the bushes there. These are 6 of these giant ogres. They are decently difficult, although not impossible. Cast the holy bonus spell here, and we will attack them. The game tells us every time we win a battle how many battles we've fought and won so far. We are up to some 475 so far in all of the streams that we've done so far, and I would think that at this particular point we are about maybe 1/3 into the game. So this is a significant amount of endless running around killing monsters. We forgot to buy the food this time around, so we will have to go back and take care of that. Or simply just it's very tempting to simply quit the game right now and return again. Instead of fighting this battle, which is a lost cause. We were pretty damaged. We saved after leveling up, so we are pretty much at the same point that we were, except we forgot to buy the food, which we will do now, and save again so we don't forget, and then try again. To avoid the encounter with the cavaliers, I will simply use this way. We'll fight these ogres again. They are difficult but not impossible. Yeah. We can mostly take care of them by quick fighting. We just have to be a little bit careful. A little planning ahead, and using a single cure spell on the topmost character means we can quick fight the rest fairly easily. It's nice that there are lights in this cavern for once, so we don't have to constantly cast the light spell. Legions. 8 of these crazed dwarves. It's a difficult battle. We'll can't use the Soundstorm spell here. We can use the lightning bolt. These dwarves are very difficult. They do a number of damage points on us and then die. So even if we end up winning, we end up mostly dead. There are 8 more on this side, so I think it's safe to say that this dungeon is too difficult for us at this point in time, and and I will probably return at a later date. I think it's absolutely pointless to continue, so we will check about the Druid cave on the other side, see if that is something that we are able to do at this point. Might be. So that's on X1. Yeah, we are at this very annoying point in the game where we are leveled high enough to be able to attempt all sorts of things, but at a point where a lot of things are still too difficult for us. It is at this point where you finished all the towns and most of the caverns, but you have to venture into the caves and you have to do them in an order, and no one tells you what the order is exactly. The password is definitely Druids, and altar moves, revealing an ancient well opening, go down, yes. Knee-high in putrid water, you notice human and animal bones, skulls and carved votive figures lodged in mud. So now we are in the Druid's cave. Let's see how we fare down here. We seem to be in a 1x1 square, which is the exit, which was in X1Y12. I'll jot that down so we find the exit again. Like in many caverns, we let's see. The shelter spell is not enough to rest, but okay. Can we rest here? No. Okay, so the shelter spell is not enough to be able to rest, and there are these snares down here that will bring us down. Let's make another attempt, see if we can find a spell that we can use. Otherwise, this is also out of our grasps at this point. We found ourselves in a battle here, which we don't really want. Where are we now? We're here, okay. See what we can do about this. Walk on water. We'll have to have this battle. It's possible that we can use the guard dog spell to rest. That's the other thing I want to try here. Let's see. Still too dangerous to rest. Let's see. Let's map this out a little bit here and see if we can find a location where it's safe to rest. Okay, inside this meditation room we can rest, so that's fine. We can go back to these rooms to rest. These snares abound down here, and well, I assume there are more of these rooms here. And these are familiar monsters. They're slightly difficult and more difficult because we stepped into these snares, but certainly not impossible to finish. I was glad that this wasn't another snare. That would have been very annoying. I will use the power cure spell on the sorcerer in case this is another snare, which it wasn't. Neither is this. And this is a bit of a maze here. These weird corridors here. Is this another meditation room? Yes, it is. We are able to rest here. That's good. An unlabeled door. That's usually not a good sign. It means that there is an encounter waiting for us, but here is another meditation room. This is a sort of area where you could easily get lost if we didn't have this fine map. Okay. Attempting to finish these rooms here before moving on. These are not difficult battles at all, so this is one of the cases where we could have gone here a lot sooner, but that just means that this should be fairly easy going at this point. Somewhat welcome change since we've had a fairly difficult time so far in this round. We'll go here and rest. And I will go back and finish the few circles, a few points here. Some druids here. This is, after all, their main place to be. Later off anything else. And then I'm tempted to use the teleport spell and go 1, 2, 3, 4 squares forward. I need to rest first. Go down here, find a meditation room. Rest. And then do this 1, 2, 3, 4 forward. We're in this secret area here then. nothing to be found here. Cans of spinach are everywhere, eat some. Okay. As I usually do in this game, I will take a snapshot of our current health and status before eating or drinking anything to see what effect it has on us. It's entirely possible that this doesn't spawn again. It doesn't at this stage. We will come back to it. Let's for now teleport some 5 squares back and continue downwards. Another one of these snares here. And yet another one. And this is not a meditation room. Let's hope one of these rooms are. At this point we have to use the power cure spells to regain a few hit points so we don't end up dead. Yeah, here is a room, but it's still too dangerous to rest in this room, meaning that we will have to go back to one of the other rooms. Let's see, we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares up. Here is a meditation room which we can use to rest. And we will then travel back downwards. We were here, so I will cast a teleport spell to take us back 6, 7 squares. So now we're in the same location as we were. And now I'm willing to check out this room here. Take down these swamp dogs. These are by no means difficult monsters that we're facing here. This is all fairly tame. The most difficult bit is not being able to rest. I will jump past this square that had the snare. Other encounters with these dogs here. Another unlabeled door here. More of the dogs. Which we take down without much issue. There's a message here for us. Holy word is best found facing south while walking through the woods. Okay. A holy word spell is a very useful level 9 clerical spell, which we are quite a bit away from being able to cast, but The hints aren't necessarily in any linear order either. You will find hints for much later points in the game. In early dungeons and vice versa. We ended up in another one of these snares here. We will have to cure the sorcerer. It's tempting to go upwards here, try to finish mapping this. We found ourselves in a water snare, and it's now tempting to go teleport a few squares here to be able to rest. We need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Teleport 5 squares into this room here, rest, turn around, teleport back. Cast a light. Some sewer rats have a little bit of makes more sense running into them here than it did in the middle of the forest in bright daylight. Another one of these water snares, and then an instant battle to take down these sludge beasts before they do a real number on us, and then take care of the rats. Tempting now to go back, but we're still okay. I think we will move along, although there is a large area here which we haven't explored, which remains hidden to us. I think I will simply use the teleport spell to go inside this area here, so we can finish mapping this. A slightly more difficult battle, although not really a difficult one. At a slight disadvantage as well, because we are slightly hurt by these snares, but it's not a serious problem. We still have plenty of spell points, and we can easily heal. Cast the holy bonus to get a slight advantage. Makes it easy enough for us to kill these, because I'm fairly sure we are not able to rest here. No, we are not. This is a door that leads from this particular room, and another door here to another battle. We are all silenced now, which is a dangerous condition to be in if we move forward. So now we will have to find our way out of here without using any magic. Not an impossible task, but a more difficult one. We have found a +2 fiery spear. I'm gonna check now what properties that has. Additional protection from fire. Okay. That is our prize for finishing this particular part of the dungeon off. And we run into an encounter here, which we have to face without using magic. Being silenced. We have to find a way out again. It's entirely possible that the way out is through here, and it is. That is actually helpful to us because we can at least rest and cure the poisonous characters and the diseased characters. We made decent progress so far. We can now continue 1, 2, 3 squares forward using the teleport spell. And there's a water snare. There's another hidden area here. This is the entrance to it. The elder druid acknowledges your party and wonders if you would perform a service for him in exchange for a great reward. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. A disciple of mine sought power out on his own. He made one mistake too many and now he must be exterminated. Find him in this cave and return to me when you have finished him. Okay. Jot down the location here. We need to return to X15, Y14 after finding the druid and taking care of him. This is the design of this cave is pretty much a maze. I ran into some more druids and they took out the sorcerer at least, and so now we have to focus on taking down the sludge beast without using magic, which is a far more difficult proposition, although not impossible. I'm wondering if I can remove the silence condition using this spell. Yes, I can. That makes things easier for us right now. Although it did not help, there was another druid left, which we didn't manage to kill before he cast the silence on us. We'll attempt to finish this. We found a +2 silver chainmail. The silver items are all additional resistance to energy, so a potentially useful item, although it isn't doesn't have as high an armor class as perhaps we need at this stage. So now we need to try to find our way back here. Without getting killed and being able to rest. It's a fair amount away. We will, instead of risking dying on this path back, we will cast the surface spell from the cleric and simply travel back to town and save our progress so far, sell off the items that we found, and then return. I think it's wise to save at this point. We've managed to map about half of the dungeon. Yeah, silver helm +2 is obviously very valuable, so we will keep it and equip it. So is the S chainmail +2. I'm wondering what the if we trade this item with the archer and remove his as scale mail and equip him with this instead, it will give us, let's see, where were we? 9, bring us up to 11. That helps. And if we take this silver helm as well and trade it with the archer, not the correct class, we can't wear a helm. Okay, that leaves us with the S scale mail, which everyone except the sorcerer can actually wear. But having said that, it will bring down our actual armor class. But we can remove this, trade this with the knight. Potentially we can use this with a robber. Let's see. Yeah, we can. That's immediately useful. We gain additional protection. Let's see. And we have gained useful items here. We still have the silver helm, which we haven't found a home for. I'm going to use this helm, even if it means it helps immensely to have additional protection from these energy spells. Just gonna check in here, see what the status is. To level up to 11, the single skill characters now need about 50,000, 50 to 80,000. The Hireling cleric is almost ready to level up to level 8 now. So we've saved our progress just to be absolutely sure that we did. I'm gonna do it again. And then I'm gonna go continue this Druid's cave. It's certainly doable. Just needs a little thinking ahead. See if we can avoid these battles here. We now need to move forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares, I think, rather than 6. Yeah, Druids, yes. Cast the light spell and see where we need to go. We now have the teleport spell again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need to move 9 squares here. I think the limit is actually 8. But no, we can move 9. So now we're inside the corridor here. We run into a battle here with some druids, which managed to silence some of us, but not all. Let's see if we can. It would be good if we could take down the druid before he manages to do further damage. Would be a great idea, actually. And we were able to do so we can use the remove condition spell to remove the silence condition from our characters, which makes the rest that much easier. Of course, we are not able to rest here, but it's okay for now. Another identical battle, but without the druids. More of the sprites. There's obviously a hidden room here somewhere, and this is the entrance to it. This is pretty much an endless maze, this dungeon. Which makes it significantly more, or at least seem significantly more complicated than it actually is. It's not all that difficult so far. Some bloodsuckers, which are very low level at this point, and mostly just run away from us. And here's a hint for us. To find the true angle on the evil wizard Ibnuk, follow the dark path 131 347 911 ACGI. Okay. There was an earlier hint about the Ibnuk wizard in the game. He's located fairly late on in the pretty much the final stages of the game. There's an island with 2 castles containing 2 of these evil wizards, which need to be completed before moving on. We hit an air snare, so we lost some hit points, and again at some point we will have to go back and rest. I'm going to get into this square here so we can finish mapping this area here. Some more of these sprites and these bloodsuckers. Accidentally did this. Yes. Okay. I've already been here. Just tempting now to go up here so we can go rest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. We need to go 9 really to end up in the room to be able to rest, turn around, cast a light, and travel back. Fully rested and ready to continue. Move face downwards and go 1, 2, 3 squares onwards. Okay. We're now coming back to the large room that we were in earlier. I'm fairly sure there's a sign here that says Air Druids, and there is. So we've now done 2 of these corridors and 2 remain. Stairs leading up, take them? No. So it's possible to escape from Y8, X8. Possibly not ending up in the same location. This is the direction we came from, so that basically leaves the last area here, which is the area of the fire druids. I assume there are now fire snares, and the monsters change. The monster is now a minor demon. Well known to us so far. We've faced them multiple times already. We need to use the remove condition on the sorcerer to remove the silence and restore some of her hit points, but otherwise most of our characters are actually doing okay right now. I'll take this direction first. I'm eager to finish mapping as much of this area here as I can. Here is the fire snare that we knew we would run into at some point. Some more of these minor demons here. And now we were not quite as lucky. We're left with only 1 character that is not silenced. Question now remains, how is it that we are able to rest at this point? It's difficult to go back exactly at this point. Let's see what we're able to do. Can't really afford many of these fire snares at this point because we desperately need to be able to get back. I wonder if we have somewhere on us a teleport item that we might potentially use. which would be the teleport orb. I don't think we actually have one on us. No, we don't. So all we can do is hope that we are able to find our way back. We have to be able to fight these minor demons here without using any sort of magic. This is becoming dangerous for us. The cleric is now unconscious, and I don't think we have a healing potion anywhere on us. We have a max hit point potion, but not much in the healing category. We have some dove's blood, which cure diseases, and a lava grenade. Other than that, we are fairly stuck with what we. So if we have many of these panels left here, then this is extremely difficult. I'm gonna take the chance that we might be able to go back up through one of the other walls, but I think our chances here are slim. Might perish this time around. At least we will end up with some dead characters in the party. It's inevitable. Yeah, you have to there's a lot of strategy at least involved. You have to think about every move that you make often. So this remains here. We were able to run away, and which is actually good for us. There is only one dead party member, so it could have been much worse. So what I'm going to do now is we are in X1, Y6. I'm going to teleport us out of this. The fights, yeah, they are the point is that the game has some of these points where it feels like you're basically stuck, but you're not. It's just a matter of moving on, constantly killing every enemy that you see, slowly gaining experience, and eventually being able to move on. And it's also often the case when you have one of these panels and they feel very difficult. Even if you return a single level higher, they are already much easier to take care of. Big Bootay only needs 10,000 to level up to level 8. So that should happen fairly soon. None of the encounters in the Druid's Cave have been particularly difficult. It's just difficult because you need to go back to rest, and there are very limited number of locations you can actually rest. So that's the only thing that really makes it difficult. We got lucky being able to run away. So I will now use the teleport spell. 1, 2, 3. We need to move 4 squares. Go back in there and take care of what I assume was the most difficult Druid. I think we actually found him. That was the battle that we ran away from. So now we know where it is. We need to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares. So we will do so. here is the Horvath. He's obviously very difficult. He's immune to magic. How nice. Pretty much the only spell he seems to have is the stone spell, but that does not really make him any less dangerous. And he seems to have an incredibly high resistance to magic and a very high armor class as well. So it's a question of finding something that will actually cause damage, which is easier said than done in this case. The Deadly Swarm seems to work on him, cause some 8 damage. I wonder how long it will take us to take him down using just that one spell. He has 392 hit points, an armor class of 50. So that's gonna take a while. Not potentially a very useful spell to use on him. The cold ray doesn't work either. So this is pretty much impossible. So we will leave this for a much later level. We will finish the rest of the cave. We will then return to the Druid's cave once we've leveled up significantly more and finished the quest. We need to have access to far higher level spells than we currently do. So we need to move 1, 2, 3 squares forward here. Can't really be bothered to do these fights with the Druids at this point. Let's see. Light. We'll finish mapping this. We'll move here, turn around. I think we actually forgot to heal the robber when we went back to town, but that's okay for now. We'll probably have to go back anyway. Let's see, I want to have some light here. I want to travel back here again and go down some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares so we can map the last remaining square there. And we've done that. And then I want to go down again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. End up in the bottom corridor there. Have some more of these fights with the Druids. as before, they did a real number on us. Try to take down the Druids. I can use the remove condition to fix the sorcerer. I really want to get rid of the Druid here. Again, we escaped. The cleric is not silenced. So we're able to heal magical dispel so she doesn't die in this battle. She still isn't able to cast magic. Now the cleric is also incapacitated. And we somehow managed to get out of this. But, in a state where pretty much everybody is unconscious or silenced, we can't rest. So that's difficult, but we are lucky. There's a meditation room here, a stroke of luck, so we are able to continue. And another one. When you need one the most, you can't find a single one, but when you don't need them, there are 3 of them in a row. So many of them, in fact, that it's almost impossible to stay away from them. And another Druid. Yet another one. Some more of these minor demons, which are easy enough to kill when you can simply rest. Accidentally killed the cleric, the Hireling cleric, but that's okay. I just want to make a little bit more of a progress here before returning to the surface. Of course, we're silenced now, so we will simply have to try to beat them the old-fashioned way, which we will. We will take some damage. There isn't much to be found in the way of treasure anyway, so I'm not worried about it. Let's see, there's another tip here for us to find the correct approach to the good wizard Jakob. Follow the path of light 2, 2, 4, 6, 6, 12, A, D, F, I. Okay, that is the hint for the other wizard in the other castle on the Isle of the Ancients. So now we're just left with the remaining few squares of this map here. I will use the teleport spell to bring us to the middle again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. We will need to move forward. It's fairly unusual, and there are 2 exits. Yeah, likewise, Chiz. Thanks for coming, dude. Yeah, have a nice night. I'm gonna finish this dungeon here, and then I'm gonna do the same myself. But I want to finish this before going to bed. Yeah, this game has a lot of these. Just one more round before I go to bed, and then it's 2 AM. Let's see, I want to move some 9 squares forward here. And go this way and travel back to town. Sell some of this stuff again. Very little this time around. But yeah, you have a good night, Chiz. Thanks for coming again, dude. I will fix the dead condition on the rubber. It was by accident that I forgot to fix it earlier. And see about leveling. Still about 8,200 away. I will save. And then try to finish this. At least we're gonna say then that we completed Square C3 and this Druid cave on tonight's stream, except for the last battle in the cave, which obviously we are a fair amount away from being able to handle at this stage. We're back in here. Let's move. Let's see, how far do we have to go to be able to move all the way down there? We have to finish this encounter here. We have to finish this encounter and then we have to move 1 square forward here, and then we were able to go all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we can go 9 down here, and then we need to go 1 more, and then we find ourselves here. Cast the power cure spell on the sorcerer as well as on the second cleric, and that means that we will probably be able to survive this fight here. At least hopefully we will be able to do that. There are 4 of these. I'll try to de-silence the sorcerer, see if that helps us in any way. The archer ended up dead this time around. Such is life. These are planning. This is slightly difficult because you have to constantly try to heal the characters. We should have given him a few more hit points, but alas, we didn't. See, now it's very tempting to just teleport 2 squares here. And make our way out of this mess. Try to finish mapping this. Another of these fire snares. done a real number on us. Meditation room, we can rest here. Another one of these 5 snares. What is seemingly a dead end, although it definitely isn't, because there's a hidden area right here. And the combination of these minor druids and the druids and the minor demons, I meant to say, same monsters we've been fighting so far. It's all a bit difficult right now. Another battle like this. These are formidable enemies when you can't use any magic and you can't heal. Make them far more difficult. Slowly taking away our hit points. We have no choice but to try to take them down. At this point, the sorcerer is unconscious, so I'm not going to attempt to search for any additional chests here, because that could simply result in her dying, and I think that's actually very likely that this will happen, because there are some of these fights left still here. So she will most likely end up dead. There are fewer and fewer of the party that are still alive at this point. Just the druids remain. They're so close to being done, and yet so far away. And this is the most difficult battle yet. It's now getting extremely tempting to attempt to run away, and we succeeded in doing so. We will go back to town and restore all of our hit points and all of our characters. We need to tread carefully here, because our current status is such that we really can't afford to get into a battle. Did enough mapping that I really don't want to do it again, so I would rather pay the price. We have quite a bit of money. We can't sell anything because we're dead. How rude of the locks of the blacksmith to not accept our business when we're dead. See, we still have some 150,000 gold. Let's see if we've managed to level up enough. No, we're still some 4,000 short of leveling up the cleric. Very close at this point. one fight with the barbarians, and we can finish leveling him up to level 8, and that doesn't happen in the Druid's Cavern. I will have one extra battle to finish that up, so we can level him up to 8 before we retire for the night. Let's see, we need to go now 1, 2, 3, 4 forwards. So with teleport spell. This is hopefully the last time we go down here. I'm going to cast us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares in this direction now. And then a further 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares downwards, which will end up, means we end up pretty much where we left off earlier. Yeah, here we are. Finish mapping these 2 squares here, and then go down here and go back in this room here, travel 1 square forward. This is the battle that nearly killed us. The Pyrohydra is difficult, and in the situation that we were in before we met him earlier, it was an impossible battle. Yeah, the silence spell is wreaking such havoc on us. But at least the cleric is still not silenced, so we are able to use his spells to remove the silence condition from the rest of the spellcasters in the party, which is really enough right now. We found the +2 great bow. And now we need to move 1 square forward here. Or perhaps we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4 upwards and end up in the end of that secret area where we run into a battle with the same crew, 2 of these druids, and these minor demons. I feel as though we've been in this battle before multiple times. And now all of them are silenced, so it's pointless to try to take down the druids at this point. We'll just try to beat them down. And with no place to rest, we will have to wait to restore that condition. We got very unlucky here and the chest exploded, so we lost a lot of hit points. Meditation room, how intensely useful at this point. That was a stroke of luck to find this room here at this point in the game. This is the last square, so we are done mapping this particular dungeon here. Now all that remains is to finish that last battle off, which we are ways from doing yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares forward now. and an additional 1, 2, 3 now the other exit. So this is mostly done. Now, the one thing remaining here is we still need some more experience points, so I will jump into one of these squares here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forward, and have one of these battles with the barbarians. To gain an additional 6,000 hit experience points, so we can level up the Hireling Cleric. And that will be the last thing we do on this stream. We're making decent progress here. These are, at this point, something we can win. Mostly, we found our ring mail plus 6. Really expensive armor and a lot of gold. So that's useful. I will now make our way back to the road and you travel the road back home. Millgate, sell some of the stuff, and level up. So he's now at level 8. I will make a big difference to us. The cleric is not terribly far from leveling to level 11, which means that we will gain the use of the Stone to Flesh spell, which will make battling the stone monsters that much easier. So then perhaps we can move to some of the other squares. It's entirely possible that I will, now that we've leveled up some almost 2 levels, that I will attempt the Snow Beast in town number 3 tomorrow, and perhaps make another run at the Cavern in town number 4. But other than that, I will then probably just continue mapping the outside and finding these caverns and finding the correct order to visit all of them and slowly level us up. We are making slow but sure progress. Yeah, thanks for coming, Gleaser, once again. I think we will... there are only 2 of us here. I think we will just retire for the night. There's no need to find somebody to raid. So I will say thanks again for coming, and thanks for joining the stream with me. It's much more fun when there is someone watching, and good night. I'll see you at a later date.